second here. Thanks for joining, everybody. Just gonna make sure the connection is good. Okay. Hi, thanks for everybody who is signing in now. Maybe you got the memo from our newsletters or you were already subscribed. Thanks for joining. Just gonna wait for a few more people to get on before I start today. And just getting comments set up so I can talk to everybody. Okay, brushes. Oh, hi. Thanks for watching. My connection is a bit slow here, so I'm just waiting for my comments to appear before I get started. Here's a little sneak peek of last week's project where I did the kitchen outdoors. Got it now. Okay. So if you haven't seen me on the YouTube channel before, my name is Mary. I'm from Chic Paint. Oh, got an ad going. Fun. Okay. What I did last week was just take a couple of old 1980s oak doors. Just grabbing an example here. In the last video that you may have seen, I took these doors, prepped them, and painted them in the Chic Paint formula. And, oops. Oh, got some people. Bridget, Hillary, Lynette, thank you. Hi. Okay, so in the last one, I did Bee's Knees, Wanderess, and one of our newer colors called Pop the Bubbly, which is a really, really light mushroom gray. It's a light gray with a slight warm tone to it, if that helps for color descriptions. Oh, hey Brandon, how are you doing? On this one, I did Topcoat, a couple of coats of that for you in the last video. So I'll just be doing one more coat to show you how it goes on. As you can see, it has a bit of a nice satin sheen. It's pretty durable right now. I can scratch it up. It's nice and good. It had all weekend to cure. Do see a couple spots that could be filled in one more time with Topcoat, so I'm going to do that today. And most importantly, I wanted to show off our glazes. Chic Paint offers a couple of water-based glazes that act like stains. They can also transform painted furniture. Here's a couple of examples. We've got white, just limestone, very nice for a bleached look. Graphite glaze, which is a black. We've got Tiger's Eye, which is a red-based brown, really good with Sage Advice, kind of really warm colors. And then my favorite, which is very popular, Smoky Quartz, which is just a nice antique chocolate brown. I use this on everything, everything. So I've got a couple of sample boards to show you just on raw wood to show how it stains. And then I wanted to show you how these bad boys are done up with glaze. The clean look is really nice. Maybe you wanted to go for a color block look in your kitchen. If you're going for the modern look, just leaving it painted and sealed is a really nice style, but sometimes it's fun to add a farmhouse chic look or maybe a whitewash, so I'm going to show that for you today. Please, in the comments, share any comments or questions you have about kitchen cabinets. I'd be happy to help answer them. And as always, check out the tutorials on Chic Paint. There's a great kitchen cabinet tutorial to get started and a surface prep guide. Nice. Yeah, okay. So what you need for glazing is make sure your paint is dry. This has had about 24 hours or more to dry. Really, you could just let it sit for maybe a couple of hours. Make sure it's dry to the touch. You don't want to be applying a wet product of some kind and then accidentally wiping off paint that hadn't had time to dry. So these are very good to go. I'm going to start with, the Pop the Bubbly one, because that'll be probably the more dramatic reveal. Get the fluff off. You'll want to use a damp cloth and just have some water ready to go just in case it isn't, damp enough. Not dripping, just nice, ready to go. Gonna take my Smoky Quartz. Keep the other ones away from that. This is a pint size. I believe they come in samples as well, just very handy. A little goes a long way. It is not as opaque as paint, so it is a more translucent layer. It is designed to brush on, wipe off, leave a little bit of a stain behind. So it does help to brush away in the direction you want it all going, but when you're applying it, it doesn't really matter unless you're wanting maybe a cleaner look on the inside. So just to start off with, I'm going to start with the insides because I know I want that older look in the crevices. These cabinets look brand new. I want to give them maybe 10 years, 10 years more. So just going to start with that, and I'll show you how it looks. And because that wouldn't just happen right there, I'm also going to apply on the edges here just a little bit. You don't have to have perfect coverage because you are just wiping it away, of course. Just a bit on the sides. Wherever you directly apply, it will stain that paint really nicely, and then whatever you brush on will be slightly thinner, so you'll have that natural worn look. Just going to get it into the edges here. So all I've done is applied it to the outside and the inside. I've got my handy lint-free cloth, and I'm just going to brush it away. I don't really wait too long. Glaze can tack up if you wait too long. It can be just the look you're going for, but maybe for most it isn't. So just kind of going along the grooves. I want a clean look, so when the edges are pushed together, I kind of smooth them out, because you don't want that cross-hatching look. Just going for a natural feel, and it is embedding into any of my brush marks. It's looking really nice, and I'm just gonna work this into kind of a circular motion, making sure the product is staying behind in the crevices, because that's what I really want, that natural look. Just gonna really wash up the center so it's nice and clean. So we kind of got a little bit going on, if you can see that. And as these products are water-based, they're pretty forgiving. If you mess up, just apply more paint or apply more glaze. You don't have to sand off anything really unless you've got some uneven texture that you let dry. And if you don't want the messy look, then just clean more of it off. I am going for a rustic look with this one, so I don't mind if some of it's kind of peeking up and if I hadn't brushed it all away. Don't forget your edges. And if you accidentally forget and you leave parts of the glaze drying longer than you want, let that dry fully, paint over it, and try again. And I'm deliberately leaving more behind in the corners because that is where natural wear and tear would go. Everything's pushed off to the sides. Leaving more behind in the handle. And all this has done is just taken it from a very fresh, clean, brand new painted look and added a bit of character to it. The brown glaze has settled into the light gray paint really nicely. So it's just a very, very subtle effect that we were going for here. Just a little bit of work into the crevices. And that's that. I will probably be able to let this dry and then go in again, bring in more depth and definition. Sandra thought it was great. What would you seal with? Yes, I'm going to cover that. Kitchen cabinets and anything in the bathroom like vanities and whatnot should probably be sealed with a water-based top coat like our Topcoat, which is the most durable. Dries to a satin sheen unlike the matte finish of our paints. And that is this guy right here. This is a quart of Topcoat. I use it a lot. Anything that needs, and I have not made sure the lid was clean. That might not open. Sorry. If you have that, you can always put an elastic band around it or tap it really gently against the ground. You don't want to shatter the lid. I haven't shattered a lid before, but I've definitely been able to pop them open against a desk or just with the elastic band around the rim. But this dries to a nice satin sheen. You can apply it with a painting sponge like this one. We offer them on our website. Just a couple of passes. Really make sure you don't overwork the product because it is fast drying. And then when you're done, after a couple of coats, you get something like this, which has a really nice sheen to it, very durable and very clean and easy to wipe up after. That's the most important part because kitchens just get really dirty. Burn a hole in it like I did. You burned a hole in it. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of glaze on my other door. Try and make your projects spread out so you don't accidentally get the wrong products on them. So this is the bee's knees one. I planned on doing this one in limestone. That's our white furniture glaze. So I'll get to that one first while the other one is drying. Going to take a clean cloth because I don't want to contaminate this one. If anybody is wondering what kind of cloths I'm using, by the way, I use these Frank cloths from Canadian Tire or J cloths from the dollar store. You can probably get them elsewhere. These are rather inexpensive and truly lint-free in my opinion, just from what I've been using. If you have an old t-shirt, that works as well. You just really want to make sure you're not embedding cloth lint into your pieces, especially before you seal them, because that might be a more apparent layer. So just keep it nice and clean while you're working. So the next one is going to be limestone. That's our white one. Which furniture glaze do I like the most? I like all of the colors. I find a good reason to use them for any particular project. But I'd have to say the one I started out with and the one I end up using the most is the smoky quartz. That's the chocolate brown. Another favorite combination is layers of smoky quartz with layers of graphite, which is the black one. Or conversely, you can add licorice, which is our black paint, to smoky quartz, because we also offer a clear glaze, which allows you to put any color you want into it. So if you're not liking the wood tints that we have on our website, you can add blue, you can add pink. We do have examples. They look really, really cool. I think a white desk painted with multicolored glazes would be gorgeous. So graphite and smoky quartz are probably the more popular ones, brown and black. But limestone is very, very popular for the bleached look. Just saying. A lot of natural legs are appearing and natural countertop, or sorry, buffet tops. All of that is very trendy right now. So limestone might be where it's at. Okay, so I've got my oval brush, my limestone, and I'm going to be putting this over the butter yellow called Bee's Knees. I love this color so much. I would do this to my own kitchen if I could. Their laminate is, it's a rental, I can't touch it yet. But you can paint over laminate, quite a few other tricky products or surfaces. So same kind of rule as the other one, starting with the crevices, really pushing it in. Glaze works best over a raw surface or something that's pretty porous. I wouldn't recommend sealing your cabinets and then applying a glaze. You might find that it just slides off a lot easier and not much is staying behind. So again, it really depends on the look you're going for, what you have time to do, and what you have on hand. So paint, then glaze, then seal if you're going to do this. And this is just going to act like a highlighter. Oops. And give it that dusty washed look. You could also just water down paints. If anyone is curious, why am I getting a glaze when I could get a paint instead? You definitely could. Just glazes are a little different. They are designed to stay behind and stain, so they act just slightly different in application. Very subtle difference. Definitely worth having if you wanted to actually stain anything and you're not wanting to use the typical harsh stains that are out there. So it just depends on what you're looking for. And again, the more you water down paint, the less pigmented it is. These stay pretty pigmented. So just keeping it to the outside. When I glaze stuff, I usually do about 2 applications, just so it's nice and noticeable. You can do more if you like. Build up the coverage. So this is just one little quick application of the limestone, just in the areas that I want the wear and tear. Got my clean Frank's cloth here, lint-free. And this time, I'm just not going to try and wipe away as much. I'm going to let it dry, because I want a streakier look. I want maybe like a yellow beach barnwood look. So just going to be really sloppy with this. I want it to sit behind in the wood grooves. Any texture that I've made with the paint, it's going to sit on and really just amplify that and give it that chalky, rustic look. So if this is what you're going for, you are going to get it with limestone. I love this thing, ever since we introduced it. If you're wanting other similar, very subtle finishes, we offer shimmer and sparkle glaze, which look really good over light colors. I find glaze is a really good alternative if you are still wanting that effect that comes from wax, but you want to seal for added durability. You can't put a water-based top coat over our waxes, unfortunately. They just won't adhere to an oil. So the glazes is a great option for those wanting to have that effect and the protection. And just make sure it's kind of clean on the inside. Get my edges nice. Okay. So I've definitely let more sit behind in the cracks and the seams. And that's kind of what we're working with here. I don't know if you can tell. Nice and chalky, nice and bleached. It just has that nice coastal kind of effect that's very popular in my part of the woods. All right, so I just want to show a couple examples of our other glazes that we have that I happen to have at home here because I don't have enough cabinets to show. That was our tough coated cabinet. I would let the glazes dry just as much as the paint before I tough coat. So I'm going to let those dry for about 24 hours, maybe a bit more, before I seal them with tough coat. You want to make sure all of your paint layers, your effect layers have had enough time to dry, because this will lock in any moisture. So you just want to make sure that it's all dry. Okay, so I have this old scrap board. This is nice raw porous pine wood. This is going to soak right in. This is tiger's eye. Another thing, always shake your jars or you'll get watery product. Okay, so this is the nice ready brown that we've got. And just to show you, in case you were wondering, that looks a lot like smoky quartz. They're slightly different. Chocolate brown, ready brown. This is just my go-to smoky quartz. If you're doing a classic creamy white look, this is the way to go. So I've got a different brush here. This is just my short handle, the 1.5. Yeah, I'm gonna dip into tiger's eye, which is that red brown, and just gonna make a pass down here. Oops. And any knots in the wood, any imperfections like this where it's really rough and I haven't sanded, it's going to soak up and darken really nicely. And just one more, make it a little bigger. Oh, I've gone and flipped it over. Another tip, just if you guys are curious, check out the sample finishes page. If you Google sample finishes country chic paint, you will find a whole bunch of pictures. We did baseboards where we painted a few popular colors, and then used our glazes, waxes, metallic creams to show the different effects with different products. So if you're just curious what these look like over certain colors, we do have pictures of that on our website. Okay, got my clean cloth. I've only let it sit for a bit. Raw wood is going to soak up a lot more than a painted surface or something that is non-porous. And just going to brush back. What happens if I brush the other way? It just kind of leaves a random hodgepodge kind of look. So if you're going for that, that is great. But if you want the nice plank smooth look, go in the direction of the grain, up and down, don't deviate, nice and simple. The more you go over, the less there will be on the board, but to a degree it will stain it. So that's our natural pine and our nice ready brown. Lovely. This also works great for signs. If you're making signs at home and you just have old planks of wood, I do that often. I like to just drill holes in this, add twine, and then this is a cute little sign for somebody's house. My family, if any of them are watching, they know that half of them have gotten a gift from me already, made out of scrap wood. It's great practice and it's just fun. So that's what I do. Going to use graphite on the other side to show you what black glaze looks like, if I can find it. So that's graphite or black. Going to go in with a clean brush. Another oval. I have too many brushes. I love them so much. We have a great collection. All right. So I've got a nice healthy amount of graphite on the board, and I'm just going to put it on. It is a cool color, and like I said, if you want just a little more of an espresso, try mixing our black and brown glazes together, adding a touch of each, or waiting for each layer to dry, and I like to alternate and go over each one. just to add a little bit of depth. When I did my kitchen table, it's just a round oak pedestal table. I did the bottom in licorice, really nice, and then I stained the top in smoky quartz, and then I just added a touch of graphite glaze on the outside, so it had this like natural grimy look, still clean, don't worry, and then sealed it with Topcoat. And I absolutely love it. I'll have to take a picture and show you guys. And it has held up really well, and I mentioned in the last video, for my application of Topcoat, I accidentally dumped this whole thing, like I knocked the jar over, managed to fix my project, it's flawless. So there's a learning curve with the Topcoat, but it does work. It does a great job. And if you're quick and drop any of your products, don't worry, you can usually wipe them out. That's the beauty of water-based. So these are 2 examples on the same piece of wood. This is 1 coat of graphite and 1 coat of tiger's eye. Like I said, raw wood soaks up a lot of product, so you might want to apply 2 coats if you're going for a more dramatic look, or a layer if you want more definition. So those are little examples that we have. And I'm not sure if I will be able to open this. I wanted to do 1 more application. Ooh, working out. I don't know if you could see that. Okay, so I just wanted to show 1 more pass of Topcoat over that cabinet I did last week. Clean hands, that's important. So there were a couple of spots that already had 1 coat but could do with a 2nd coat, just in those little areas. If you can see this, I'm not sure, there's a tiny little drip where I let some of the Topcoat collect, and it has dried a little white and crusty. You might want to cover that up if that happens to you. Catch all of your drips on the outsides and on the insides. You can just paint that over and then Topcoat it again, which is what I would do if I had time, but nope. You need a sponge. Sorry, it's right here. So with Topcoat, make sure your paint surface and your glaze has had about 24 hours or more to dry. Then you could go ahead and seal. Just gonna make sure this is nice and lint-free. Just finished waxing your piece with clear wax. How long does it take to dry? Well, wax typically takes actually about 3 weeks to cure. That's all happening that you can't really see or feel. We suggest you buff waxes very fine until no longer tacky. You should be able to put a hand on it and not really see that fingerprint or that handprint. But it is curing the whole time for a couple of days to a week or more. It's still ready to use, be gentle. Wax does take a bit of time to cure though. Just something to consider. Topcoat, however, shouldn't take that long to cure. It will be nice, ready to use. You can put your cabinet doors back on and start gently using probably within a couple of days. So I just wanted a bit of product. Got too much on here. Just a bit onto the sponge. And I'm just going to make a quick pass in the areas that I missed. With Topcoat, as I mentioned in the last video, there's a few more tips if you wanted to look at that one. Make sure you go in the same direction as last time for even texture, and don't go over the same spot twice. Can't stress that enough. It is a fast drying top coat. You can overwork it if you're not careful. If you're like me and you have a penchant for catching every spot perfectly in the first coat, you will be a little in for a little surprise. So just 1 pass, leave it alone. 1 pass, leave it alone, if you can handle it. These paints and our top coat also work in a paint sprayer. If anybody at home is working with one of those, if you have a large kitchen, more than a 10 by 10, it might be easier to do this with a paint sprayer than by hand. But I'm a fan of the brushed look, so just depends. 1 quick cabinet door done. This is wondrous, very nice and moody. And that is what we've got for today. And I also wanted to share a quick code halfway through. If you guys want, 10% off the website using glaze10, countrychicpaint.com or .ca. You don't have to get glaze, just a suggestion. So, in the time that I was chatting, this has had some time to dry. Before I end the video, I'm just going to make 1 more quick pass to show you what 2 coats of smoky quartz over Pop the Bubbly looks like. And after this, I'm going to clean up my Topcoat jar, because that was really hard to open. Alright. Got my smoky quartz brush here. So I didn't have to wait very long for smoky quartz to dry the first time. did one thin, quick coat. If you're working on multiple cabinets, you can easily do one process and then go right back to the beginning and start again. That's how we did our ones at the office. Doing the same process, right into the grooves. You don't have to do it this way. There are many other ways to antique your cabinets, but this is just my way if I was going to do it. If you want more antiquing, you can put this all over and then wipe away the excess. You don't have to put it in the way that I am. All right. Free cloth, not really letting it sit for too long. Okay. And deliberately keeping some on the outside here. And this is giving it just a nice old vintage look. And like I said, if you find you've messed up in areas, just gently paint it. Or you could do a little wash of paint if you don't want total coverage to correct a mistake. A lot of little subtle ways you can fix things. Gonna leave behind lots on the corners because that looks good to me. All right. And I find I definitely don't use as much glaze as I do paint. So let's say, for example, you have a quart for your project and you probably only need a pint maybe for glaze, only half that, or you definitely don't need more because you're only applying a coat or two, then wiping most of it off. So a little goes a long way. Making sure this stays nice and clean on the center. I definitely want that looking nice and not streaky. If you find you're getting streaks from your marks, just find a cleaner section of the cloth, maybe start with a new one, maybe rinse it out. And I don't want it all to collect in some random triangle, so I'm just careful to dab away any of the excess. And I've got a bit more going on. What do you guys think of that? Let me know in the comments. I would definitely do this. And I think, just if I say so myself, these two are a great combination. Something to think about. We all have some time to take on these projects. If you're at home, kitchen cabinets can be an undertaking, taking everything off, but definitely worth it. I've seen some amazing transformations. If you guys have ever painted your own cabinets with Country Chic Paint, please give us a share on our Facebook page or our Instagram. Tag us. We'd always love to see. You can always pose your questions to countrychicpaint.com via email, on Facebook, or here in the comments. One more time, that code, glaze10, for 10% off our website. Don't have to get glaze, just an option. I just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe. That way you get notified next time we go live. I'll be doing a couple projects every week. Tomorrow, I just wanted to show you real briefly, I will be painting children's blocks if you're interested. This is a really great gift for kids. I made one last Christmas for a youngling, did a little dollar store box, painted it, and then painted these sealed with hemp oil, and she loved them. So I want to be able to show you guys this project tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned in for that. Subscribe so you get the reminder. And I think that is it. So hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration. I've got the bee's knees with limestone, pop the bubbly with smoky quartz, a couple of demonstrations on raw wood, and of course how to apply Topcoat over a darker color. And that is it for me. Remember to subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy painting, and if you have any questions, you can always email me or write in the comments. I'm just gonna get around the desk here and sign off. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.